What's happening, Hardscapers? Today we're here at Mammoth Equipment and we're going to be touring their shop and doing a little bit of equipment maintenance, so let's get into it here.
We were looking to put together some equipment tutorials for our How to Hardscape headquarters software to help our business owners be able to use these tutorials to assign to employees and help them with maintenance training on pieces of equipment. So I reached out to Mo from Mammoth Machinery. He said, come on down, we'll help you out with that. So thank you to Mammoth for helping us put this together. We put together a quick video here for the YouTube channel of different maintenance things that you need to do with small engines. And Mammoth Machinery was established in 2019 with landscaping design and construction in mind. They started with a motorized wheelbarrow and they have since grown to carry various product lines from excavators to wheel loaders, and they still focus on small to mid-sized equipment, but have been expanding their service industries to include snow removal, agriculture, and mainstream construction with some of their products, and their customers trust them because they provide them with unmatched level of service and quality. And so here are 5 things that you should be checking daily or weekly with your machine and how to go ahead and either clean or replace them if you are just starting out with this small equipment. You should always be doing that visual inspection to start the day off, a daily inspection of your piece of equipment to check if there's any cracks or anything that is out of the ordinary with your piece of equipment. When it comes to the air filter, we're going to be checking out this wheelbarrow, and then we're also going to be checking out this mini skid steer and replacing the filter, cleaning it and replacing it. So simply locate it, take off any housing that is containing it, check it visually to see if it is dirty. And if you can use air to clean it out, check this once a week, give it a quick cleaning with the air, and then put it back into place if it is clean. If it needs to be replaced, it's too dirty for you to use air to clean it off, you will need to check that model number, get an air filter, or replace it with a compatible air filter for that unit. If you're looking at a mini skid steer to get into it, you lift the covering, find the air filter, it looks something like this. Take off the housing, access that air filter, visually inspect it. Does it need to be replaced? Is it too dirty to use air to completely clean it? Or is it able to be cleaned with just air? If it is, clean it, put it back in, put the housing back on, and once again, do this weekly, especially if you're working in a dusty area. Spark plug on this, once again, the wheelbarrow, it has a connection, a housing that protects it, so we take that off, and then we use a socket to loosen that spark plug. Once it's loosened, you can simply use your hand to unscrew it the rest of the way, take it off, and there it is. We have a spark plug here that has been burnt out, and you can compare the burnt out one compared to the brand new one. And once again, if you are looking to replace it, get that model number, get a compatible piece to that model number or that model number, and then simply put it back in hand, making sure that that spark plug does not get stripped, and then socket to hand tighten and put that housing back on. You should hear a click. Engine oil is something that you can check daily just to make sure that your machine's not running too hot and burning off oil, because that oil is going to be very important to keep your engine going. Mammoth Machinery said the most common thing that they see, especially with gas engines, is that the engine oil was not replaced. Double check that your engine oil level is where it should be. Access that dipstick, unscrew it, clean it off, put it back in, and check that engine oil level. If it needs to be replaced, there's 2 ways that we can go about this. We can use the suction method, as you see here, to get that engine oil out, or we can simply put the pan underneath the unit, find the drain plug for that engine oil, take it off by loosening it with a wrench, and then hand loosen all the way, get it out of there. When you're ready, put it back in after cleaning it. And then you can put a funnel in with new oil, making sure that you're using oil that matches what that engine is suited for. We added a little bit too much here, but we double check after cleaning it up, put that dipstick back in, take it back out, and see where that engine oil level is at to make sure that we're where we should be. Now, if we're doing this with a mini skid steer, once again, we're locating that drain plug, doing the same thing to get that engine oil out. Loosen it with a wrench and then get in there and pull it out with your fingers, waiting some time for that to completely come out, putting that drain plug back in and hand tightening it, cleaning away any excess oil that we might have there as well. And then we can access where that engine oil fill up is in the machine. So we're loosening that, putting our funnel in and putting that engine oil, compatible engine oil with our machine, to where our fill should be. We can locate our dipstick and find that we are exactly where we should be on that dipstick line. Once again, checking daily, if possible, our engine oil to make sure we are where we should be. And whenever you're changing the engine oil, make sure to change that filter as well. For gas engines, small engines, every 50 hours, you can change the oil and filter. Diesel every 100 hours. And with all of this stuff, always refer to whatever the brand that you have specifies for this regular maintenance. Track tightening is also important, and being able to loosen it will show both here. There could be a couple different ways to do this depending on your machine and the mechanism to do this. On this wheelbarrow, there is a tightener where you have to loosen the initial bolt and then you go back to the original bolt and then you tighten it clockwise to be able to tighten those tracks. And then we just want to make sure that those tracks are nice and tight. Not too tight, because if they are over tightened, it will cause the track to prematurely crack and split. And if it is loose, those tracks will come off of the machine and we'll have to replace them back onto the machine, which can be a big pain. So once we get it to where we need to be for tightness, we tighten that initial bolt down and then we tighten that second bolt. Now with a mini skid steer, there is a grease fitting, and it is protected by a bolt typically, so that bolt needs to come off to expose that grease fitting. Once that grease fitting is exposed, we can also take that off to help us loosen the track by exposing the grease there. And then we take a ratchet or some sort of mechanism to tighten that track tensioner, and that you see the grease coming out of that track there. And that's going to loosen that track and allow us to take that track off. We go ahead, take that track off, and this is how we would go about either replacing a track that is showing wear and tear. Now we can put that next track back. And then finally at the end, we just put our grease fitting back on, tighten, hand tighten with a wrench, and then give it some grease to tighten up that tensioner and get our tracks to the tension that they should be at. Finally, putting our fitting back on to protect that grease fitting. In continuing with greasing, we just want to make sure that we're going around the machine and adding grease wherever there are fittings and making sure that that grease is showing in that joint to ensure that we don't have metal on these different moving pieces. A few other things that you can definitely check and top up as needed is coolant, hydraulic oil, and filter with that. And for the hydraulic filter, we can look at every 250 hours or 500 hours to be able to replace it. And with all of this stuff, always refer to whatever the brand that you have specifies for this regular maintenance.
Hey, I hope this video's helped you. We just went through a few things there, some things that you should look out for with equipment. A lot of this for the people just starting out. Some of it maybe you can use to help your employees, but if you are looking for training for employees, these full-length videos are actually going to be in our software. And the purpose of this is to be able to assign them to your employees and allow them to train themselves on what needs to be done for the equipment. And with the software, you can do that exactly with these different courses, with these different tutorials that we're putting together, and especially with equipment maintenance, which is so important for the longevity of your equipment. So if you're looking for that, that's How to Hardscape headquarters software, members.howtohardscape.com. Link will be in the description there for that. And hey, check out Mammoth equipment as well. Link is going to be in the description below for that. Like this video if you found it helpful for whatever reason, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more hardscaping content like this. Thank you so much for watching.